My name is Peg Boulay, Co-Director of Environmental Leadership Program here at University of Oregon.
My name is Marissa Lane Massey, and I am a project manager in the Environmental Leadership Program.
My name is James Russell. Call me Jim, please. And I'm an owner of the ranch.
Steam donkey up at the top of the hill. And the steam donkey would be
Whitewater Ranch is a timber and blueberry ranch, as well as we have some cattle, we have some miniature donkeys, and it's our home as well. For the last 12 or 13 years, we've been having, around a dozen students come out. They've been working on the restoration of Goose Creek. Goose Creek is a freshwater source for all sorts of creatures around here. It comes from a spring way up in the mountains. It's not necessarily snow-fed, so it runs all year around. Being a spring-fed water system, it's developed over the hundreds of years it's been here, different flora and fauna that live along that creek. Cattle came through Goose Creek and lived in Goose Creek for probably 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. There was very little vegetation left. And because Goose Creek runs right between the two blueberry fields, we felt that that one particular area should really be enhanced and brought back to a native environment so bugs, bees, pollinators, birds, mammals could do what they needed to do and keep our fields in balance.
ELP is a capstone experience for students where they are synthesizing and working with all the information that they've been learning in the classroom and using it out in a practical experience. So how it differs is that instead of going to lectures and having assignments, students instead are doing professional development workshops, working with their team, doing field work, which will vary by team, and then creating products based on their work that is shared with our community partners.
Step on him, Mom. Maybe put him like behind Zach.
How did you get the damsel in there? So we have been working at Whitewater Ranch since 2014. This team has been named different things based on what we focused on. Currently, the Restoration Research Team is continuing our 10-year project of restoring Goose Creek and collecting data to find out the long-term benefits of our work at Goose Creek.
The main components of that project are water temperature monitoring, plant vigor monitoring, removing invasive plants, and planting new plants. Specifically targeted at pollination, but also with that avoiding plants that can possibly bring pests to the organic blueberry farm.
And that's the restoration part of the project. The research part of the project is a new partnership with Dr. Lauren Panicio and her lab to conduct research on how can you increase pollinator resources and benefit pollinators after intensive disturbance like wildfire and timber harvest. So this project gives students a variety of experiences that includes hands-on ecological restoration that's very physical, as well as the very detail-oriented work of conducting rigorous field research.
It's crucial that pollinators have the ability to use natural spaces as habitat, especially in a shared landscape with agriculture, because it's hard to bring in honeybees to do all the labor, and native bees are declining, so it's really important to help them.
So since ELP started the restoration at Goose Creek, there's been interesting transformations. Obviously, plants are starting to grow, which is a nice thing to see. The most obvious are the willow trees that are in there, and I think some of them are now close to 20 foot tall. But we're seeing, you know, all sorts of wildlife come up. I've seen elk and deer always around here, and most recently we did have a cougar come walking through the ranch in the evening. So the amount of life that has sprung up in the last decade just from putting some plants in the ground, it's actually pretty amazing to see. You know, for me, it's been wonderful because we have inspections, we have food safety inspections, we have organic inspections, and we have a salmon safe certificate that we have an inspection for as well. Each of those groups will ask, after we're all said and done, it's kind of like an extra credit, they'll ask, what else are you doing for the environment? And I can take those ELP reports stacked up one after the other from years previous, put them on the table and say, you know, we have this outdoor education class where students come out and they do this type of work. Every one of the inspectors is blown away that we would take the time, the effort to put something like this together and keep it going. So for the students, I hope it's been great. For us, it has been great because the reports that I can get to tell the inspectors who come here year after year after year that we're still doing this, that we have done this, it's just a fabulous resource for us.
ELP is experiential learning and it's community-based learning. The value of working with community partners is that it provides a real applied setting for students where they see how their work actually benefits the community. It also means that they get to learn directly from community members through mentorship, through conversations, through the actual design of the project.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly. And
My experience doing ELP back in 2019 was awesome. I had such a sense of community, all working towards a common goal. We had so much fun out in the field. It was my first introduction into understanding how habitats function together, and with a specific focus on riparian ecosystems. And that just like propelled me into the restoration ecology field that I'm studying today.
In Environmental Leadership Program, we emphasize career development and career readiness, and that's everything from learning how to do a resume, how to write a cover letter, to how to work within a team setting, because students will need to work in teams no matter where they go. We focus on both the technical skills of how do you use equipment like a diameter tape or GPS unit, how do you analyze data, to the more transferable skills like how do you communicate, how do you manage your time, how do you resolve conflict, and how do you build consensus within a team setting. All of these together make students more prepared, more marketable for the kinds of jobs that they will be doing in the future.